Hello and welcome to episode 78 of the How to Survive podcast. This week we're covering the new release M. Night Shyamalan film Split. My name is Chris and joining me is Joe.
And I'm Joe, and joining me is Stephen.
And I'm Stephen and joining me is Dave.
And I'm Dave, and joining me is Jamie.
And I'm Jamie and joining me is Michael.
I'm Michael, and joining me is Mohammed.
What are we doing here? What the hell is going on?
I was sent to get you for a reason.
There's a flower on the pillows, a flower in the bathroom. Like, we're important.
The only chance we have is if all three of us go crazy on this guy.
Who is that? Maybe she can help us.
We're here! Help us! We're in here!
Don't worry. He's not allowed to touch you. He knows what you're here for.
I've never seen a case like this before. 23 identities live in Kevin's body.
Who are you?
And I'm Roger, and joining me is Cecil.
And I'm Cecil and joining me is Joe.
Thanks, Chris. Good to be here.
Great to have you. So yes, this week's film is Split, the new M. Night Shyamalan film. Will it be a sham of a film?
Is that how it's pronounced? Shyamalan?
Shyamalan? I don't know. Shyamalan?
Shyamalan. I always say Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan?
Who could say?
Who could say? Not us. If you haven't seen Split, then now is your chance to back out of the podcast because there are spoilers ahead. And as you might have guessed from the fact that it is an M. Night Shyamalan film, there are things to be spoiled, including twists and turns that you'll never see coming.
Yeah, unless you are awake.
Yes. Although, anyway. Spoilers from here on out. And as ever, we'll start by recapping the plot before we move into our usual review discussion and then eventually to how we would survive Split.
Yeah, we like to discuss it at length so we know exactly what we're dealing with.
Exactly, yeah. So, Split, Joe. 3 teenagers, Casey, Claire and Marcia, are abducted by a man calling himself Dennis and held captive in a basement. Dennis is in fact one of 23 split personalities inhabiting the body of Kevin, a victim of childhood abuse with severe dissociative identity disorder. His long-term psychiatrist, Dr. Fletcher, is an outlier in the psychology community due to her belief not only in the existence of DID, but that the different personalities can change the physiological makeup of the individual.
She does have the ring, like the character, of a kind of doctor who's sent off for their degree.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. The example that she gives is that, one psychological personality had a physiological allergy to bee stings, but another one didn't, for example.
But she doesn't actually have any proof of this.
No, despite dedicating her entire career to it. The girls discover that 3 of Kevin's personalities, Dennis, who is an OCD-suffering paedophile, Patricia, a matriarchal figure, and Hedwig, a 9-year-old boy personality, have staged somewhat of a coup inside Kevin's mind with the aim of awakening a 24th personality named the Beast, a monstrous, powerful being who would bring reckoning against the untouched, those in the world who have never known suffering. The other personalities are desperate to regain control of Kevin and prevent this from happening. The girls attempt to escape a number of times, but each time are thwarted by Dennis or Patricia and are eventually imprisoned separately. Meanwhile, other personalities take control of Kevin long enough to email Dr. Fletcher for an urgent appointment on a daily basis, evidence to her that something is seriously wrong with her patient. Casey attempts to befriend Hedwig, the 9-year-old boy personality, in order to escape, but is caught when Dennis returns. It is revealed through flashbacks that Casey was repeatedly abused by her uncle, who now cares for her following the death of her father. Dr. Fletcher eventually visits Kevin at his home underneath the Philadelphia Zoo, where Kevin also works, and realises, to her horror, that he is responsible for the kidnappings. Dennis knocks Dr. Fletcher unconscious and transforms, physically and psychologically, into the Beast, an amalgam of human and predatory animal characteristics, which is reflected in some discussions earlier in the film when they're talking about the way predatory animals hunt and their abilities.
Yeah, sort of pub quiz trivia that the various personalities seem obsessed with.
Yeah. The Beast kills Dr. Fletcher, Marsha, and Claire, while Casey is able to briefly return Kevin by speaking his full name. Horrified by his actions, Kevin directs Casey to where his shotgun is and orders her to kill him before his other personalities begin to take over, switching from one to the other until the Beast returns and corners Casey after she's got the shotgun. She shoots him at point-blank range, but with no success. The Beast is about to devour Casey when he sees her self-harm scars and realises that she too has known suffering. Rejoicing in the fact that she is pure and exceptional, the Beast spares Casey, who is later found by Kevin's co-worker at the zoo. As police prepare to return her to her uncle, she appears to have gained a newfound sense of strength. In another hideout, Dennis, Patricia and Hedwig exert permanent control over Kevin's body and admire the power of the Beast and their plans to change the world. And then the film ends. Only it doesn't, because there's a slight coda which I think changes, well, everyone surely who has seen it, changes the entire complexion of the film. And basically, in a diner, patrons listen to media coverage of Kevin's crimes, for which he's been nicknamed the Horde. One of the patrons notes the resemblance between Kevin and a wheelchair-bound serial killer arrested 15 years earlier and asks for the man's name. The man sitting next to her is revealed to be an older David Dunn, played by Bruce Willis, who reminds the patron that it was Mr. Glass, revealing Split as part of the same cinematic universe as Unbreakable, the 2000 M. Night Shyamalan sort of modern take on the superhero myth. And so, as it turns out, Split takes place in the same world as that film.
Now, we saw this together last night.
Yes, yeah.
I hadn't seen Unbreakable.
Yeah. And
So
you still haven't?
I haven't, since then.
Yeah.
So that ending meant little to me.
Yes.
And had you not been there to explain it to me,
Yeah.
I would have gone away thinking, why was Bruce Willis in this film?
Is he dead?
The girl sat behind us in the cinema said, so is it The Sixth Sense?
Yeah.
Which is not an unfair assumption if you haven't seen Unbreakable.
That is true. And Unbreakable, while it was critically acclaimed, was not at all a box office success. And though it's, one of these films that's gained a sort of cult following its release on home media and in the intervening years, 17 years.
Wow.
It's still not a particularly well-known film. 17 years. Does that blow your mind?
I'm bugged out by it. 17 years.
19 years since The Sixth Sense. Or 20,
Really?
isn't it?
Yeah, it must be.
97?
Wowza.
But I mean, what did you think of Split overall? Because I thoroughly enjoyed myself watching this, and I did so with the knowledge that it's not, in any way the best film, I've seen.
I think we've done a lot of films lately, or in the last sort of half a year, which are cut from the same sort of cinematic cloth, and that is, say, Don't Breathe, The Blair Witch to an extent, Lights Out.
Well, you mean just sort of like modern horror, spooky.
My first horror movie, sort of. Right? This did have that kind of feeling to it.
Yeah.
It was a bit watered down, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. I think it's the high end of that genre. Yeah,
definitely. And I think it is sort of schlocky and B-movie sort of style of a film. But I had so much fun watching it, and it's rare that we can say that. I think, like Lights Out, for example, a couple of weeks ago, you put it in the same sort of bracket as this. A horror movie that's not going to change the world by any means, but is a competently made, but ultimately relatively unremarkable.
Yeah, exactly.
Film.
I'm not going to go tell my friends to watch it.
No, exactly. But Lights Out. But Lights Out wasn't fun.
No.
And this was. I had fun watching it. Yeah. And I think that when the twist at the end happened, the reveal of David Dunn, like I haven't seen Unbreakable in years. And interestingly, I'd only been thinking about it recently because there had been a seemingly random sort of sudden internet buzz around Unbreakable.
Right.
Like, lots of people suddenly doing articles on Unbreakable. I couldn't fathom why. So it was in my thoughts anyway, but the fact that he appeared, the tracking shot along the bar, and then he's there.
It was that slow. There was a loud groan that erupted from the cinema
as
it was revealed.
I said, "Oh, fuck off," and then laughed for quite a while.
Yeah.
Because I think it's an incredibly audacious thing to do. As you say, no one's gonna know who that is.
In that cinema, it was pretty packed.
It was probably about 10% of the people knew who got the reference.
Yeah, because it's also risky knowing that he's gone for the cinematic universe.
Yeah,
I know him for Sixth Sense.
Yes.
I know he made Unbreakable. I know Bruce Willis was in it, but I hadn't seen it. So my first thought was Sixth Sense, and I was thinking, how does this work?
Is he a ghost? Yeah. I think that. So we talk sometimes about fan service, and I think this is basically fan service, in the sense that you're appealing to a very small subset of your audience that are going to get the twist or get the reference. It's not even a twist, really.
Fanboys. Yeah, it's not a massive twist because it is pretty thoroughly well telegraphed. It's basically he says, "I'm going to do something," and then does it.
Yeah, what do you mean, the beast?
Yeah, exactly. Thing?
Yeah. Well, because I think that people will go into this film because it's an M. Night Shyamalan film. They'll go in looking for the twist.
Exactly.
Whether it's fair or not, he has a reputation for
being a twist master.
Yeah,
but that's the problem in a way, because I was sat there and every word every character said, I'm thinking, right, what does that mean? So they're like, I'm going to take out the trash. I'm like, so
the trash,
garbage.
He's, in some cultures that could mean killing somebody.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. But I think that when is a twist not a twist? Because the twist of this film is essentially that the beast is a real thing.
Yeah.
Or the beast actually appears. Because there's all the talk throughout the film. We're going to awaken the beast.
Yeah.
And he's 10 foot tall, incredibly strong,
can climb up walls,
eats people, climb up walls, and that sort of thing. And you think, well, it's just going to be like James McAvoy just doing a sort of growl and all that sort of thing. But he does actually become a monstrous thing. But that's not can it be classed as a twist if the film repeatedly through the medium of its characters tells you exactly what's going to happen and then delivers on that? Is that a twist?
Yeah, I don't know. It is in a way, because you don't know. I don't know, but compare that with 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
But
that does the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. It says there's aliens out there. Don't go out. There's aliens out there. And you're thinking there's not aliens out there.
Yeah.
And then there is aliens out there.
Yeah.
Is that a twist? Would you say?
I think they're very similar films, actually, because they are about not only imprisoned by a devious person and there's a greater looming threat, but also about sort of female empowerment and sort of eventually sort of overcoming odds, but they both have that sort of reverse rug pull of actually everything is as it seems. As you say, 10 Cloverfield Lane, spoilers for that.
Well, you should have heard our episode anyway.
I
mean, the twist is that there kind of isn't a twist.
Similarly with this, the twist is there is no twist. But then, the film sets its stall out, I think, with its sort of very creative use of science. If you accept the premise, that is put forward a third of the way into the movie, that people with multiple personalities can change their physiology, then you can't really get to the point where James McAvoy becomes the Beast and go, oh, no, this is too unrealistic now.
Yeah,
like I don't buy that. I buy that someone could, be diabetic and then change their mental state and not be diabetic, but I don't buy that, monsters could exist.
Yes. It does bring you along in that way. It's not like like you say, it doesn't pull the rug out from under you, because they basically tell you what's going to happen.
Yeah. And I think that if there is a twist, it is that sort of unbroken...
which is surely meant to be a post-credit sequence.
It feels that way, doesn't it? Definitely.
Because Bruce Willis is in it.
I think because Bruce Willis is in it, they can't put it post-credits. But I think... I think people will consider that a twist, but while it does colour your perception of the film after the fact, if you know that it takes place within what is essentially a sort of comic book world, it does actually make sense, because if you accept that flowery science and all that sort of thing, you're never told that this film is taking place within a sort of realistic universe, and its placement within the sort of unbroken universe actually works to make it better off, I think, because you're grounding it in an established universe where these things can happen.
Yeah.
And unbroken people have abilities and powers, essentially.
So it's kind of like if a movie happened where a man begins turning into, a frog, and the movie's like a horrible body horror where his tongue keeps falling out of his mouth, he's getting too long and he keeps choking on it.
Yeah.
And it's tremendously scary. And then at the end, Spider-Man crawls past and you go, oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Or at the end, a princess kisses him and he turns back into a human.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I believe that someone could turn into a frog, but come on. This
is ridiculous.
Yeah. And obviously another thing that this shares with 10 Cloverfield Lane is the ridiculous central performance.
Yes.
James McAvoy is just having the time of his life, isn't he?
Yeah.
In this role.
Yeah.
In these roles, I suppose you'd say.
Yeah. Does he get cast credit as every...
If you look on IMDb, he is credited as the individual names. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. But yeah, he
does
plays...
he get royalties for each one as well?
Yeah, that'd be good. It's an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's very good. He's very similar to John Goodman in 10 Cloverfield Lane in that sort of unhinged way, but it is taken up to another level by all the ridiculous different characters. And I think that my personal favourite is Patricia,
right?
Where she talks a bit sort of very posh English, and then she talks very slowly, and then she sort of does these little micro expressions, just looking back and forward between the girls, and then goes away again. And it's just very measured, but people.
You went for a piss actually during the movie, and there was a very good Patricia moment.
Yeah,
which you'd be sad.
Go watch it again.
She's combing, I think, Casey's hair.
Right,
and she turns to the other girl who's eating a sandwich. And she goes, "Isn't that a nice sandwich, paprika?" And she winks at her.
Yeah. It's all those every time either Patricia or Hedwig would appear, the audience would laugh, but then it's sort of the laughter would die out quite quickly, because when you're faced with the sort of reality of the situation,
I would say though, 10 Cloverfield Lane, it felt like the stakes were a lot higher.
Yeah
I think it's a much tenser film for me.
Yeah,
I think John Goodman's character had weight. He's fat as fuck, but he was very intense.
Yeah,
and you felt that at any moment he could actually kill them.
Yeah.
Whereas I think because you kind of know that James McAvoy's various personalities aren't going to kill the girls immediately.
Yeah,
it becomes a bit I don't know. It's a bit too teeny.
Yeah, I
didn't see any doom on the horizon.
Yeah, well, I mean, that eventually. The doom does arrive eventually when he eats the other two girls as the Beast, which is pretty grim.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do not.
Imagine getting eaten alive.
Yeah, well, but it is just it's quite pantomime and campy.
Yeah.
But I think it really works in the context of the film, and it needs an actor who's just going to throw themselves fully into the joy of the role, if you know what I mean. And I think James McAvoy does a great job of doing that.
He's done a lot of stoic performances, so he must be.
Yeah.
Be good
You
to
compare
flex your muscles a bit.
compare this to Atonement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like when he's Professor Xavier.
Yeah.
And he can only be like, "That's not quite the right idea there, Logan."
Yes. Logan, you really must not do that.
Logan,
and then he's like,
"Come on,
my
Logan."
name's Hedwig.
Are you looking forward to Logan this year?
Yeah, it'll be alright. I'm looking forward to it because Stephen Merchant is in it as a villain.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why would they cast him as the villain? What character is he?
He's the yokel. He's not really. He's like, I think he's a comic book character called Caliban.
Okay.
I don't know anything about the comics. Yeah, but Stephen Merchant is in it as a mutant, and he's bald. So Stephen Merchant shaved his head for it. Did this pass you by?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look forward to Logan then.
Yeah, well, I will. Bit of a twist on the old X-Men concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having them all dead.
It is a twist on it, Joe, yeah.
Do you know what? You know what else is a twist?
Yeah? Yeah?
This movie we just watched, Split, was a twist.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan.
I tell you what, Joe, it had a twist in it.
It did, didn't it? Do you know what else had a twist? All of M. Night Shyamalan's movies ever have had twists, haven't they?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Let's spoil them now. The Village, of course, was a...
Yeah, spoilers for any other M. Night Shyamalan films that you haven't seen.
Yeah. So The Village, think back, how did that end?
The Village, it turned out that the sort of settler era village that they were living in actually was in the real world.
Yeah.
Like the modern world, I should say.
Yeah.
Not that it was a documentary.
So Signs, remember how that ended?
Yeah, Signs. It turns out that the aliens are allergic to water.
Yeah.
And they go away.
Silly choice coming to Earth, really.
We've discussed this.
Have we?
Yeah.
On the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about The Happening?
Back to
that.
The Happening, that was the plants what did it.
Yeah, the plants caused everyone
They
to kill
were
themselves.
they were angry about climate change, I guess.
Yeah. Thinly veiled climate change message there from M. Night. On that basis, because you seem to know a lot about twists, so...
Oh, yes.
Let's step once again into quiz territory and play my shit movie twist quiz game.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the brief synopsis of the plot, and I'll ask you what the twist was in each film.
Okay.
So question 1.
Yeah.
You may have seen this one, actually.
Okay.
It's Planet of the Apes,
Yeah.
the 2001 version,
Yeah.
with Marky Mark.
Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton, yeah, with Tim Roth in the lead.
Yeah. Is it Helena Bonham Carter as well?
Yeah, mate, the Tim Burton gang, all
Yeah.
in effect.
All there.
So in this particular story, Mark Wahlberg's character is an astronaut who goes to save a monkey
Yeah.
from space and gets sucked through a black hole
Awesome.
where he lands on a planet inhabited by
Apes.
ape-like humans,
Yeah.
human-like apes, I should say. He escapes and gets back to Earth. But what happens next, Chris? Is it A, he's landed on a planet inhabited by cats?
Yeah.
B, he's actually gone back through the black hole
Yeah.
and landed on the same planet again with the same apes,
Right.
and they kill him because he's come back?
Yeah.
Or is it C, he lands on what is actually Earth, but for
Yeah.
some reason all of the monuments have been replaced by monkeys, and all the people are monkeys as well?
It doesn't even sound like the most ridiculous one, does it?
Yeah.
In that context. But I remember that it is C. And yeah, he lands, and the Lincoln statue in Washington is an ape.
Yeah, which is a twist on the original Charlton Heston version, where it's like, oh, it was Earth all along.
Yeah.
But this is like, oh, it was Earth all along. But it wasn't
No,
Earth.
it wasn't Earth.
Oh, it wasn't Earth, but Earth has also been taken over by
They
apes.
found their way back to Earth, but did it in the past.
Question 2
Yeah.
is the movie Remember Me.
Okay.
After his brother Michael commits suicide and his family fractures in the aftermath,
Yeah.
Tyler Hawkins isolates himself entirely, wandering through life without a purpose. Luckily, he falls in love with Allie, a beautiful but traumatized daughter of an overprotective cop who has it out for Tyler. As their romance blossoms, the two damaged souls set out on a path to mutual healing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happens next?
Okay.
A. It turns out Allie drove Tyler's brother to commit suicide, by blackmailing him because he was secretly gay? Is it B, Tyler is killed when a plane crashes into the building he was visiting his father in? Or is it C, Ali is revealed to be Tyler's half-sister and her father knew this, which is why he had it out for Tyler in the first place?
Right. Well, I actually remember me.
You've seen it?
Yes.
I should have checked that.
And it is B.
Yeah.
And not only is there's a plane crash into his building.
Yeah.
But it turns out that the date is September the 11th, 2001.
Yep.
And the building they're in is the south. Is it the North Tower of the Twin Towers?
It's one of the towers.
One of the towers of the Twin Towers. And so he is in 9/11.
Yes. We're not laughing because
which an
9/11.
otherwise completely sane film.
Yeah, it's quite like a touching story. And then at the end it's just like,
oh,
we're 9/11.
It's like, it is as ridiculous as the Planet of the Apes film.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like a tacked on, like, I know, well, how can we get them crying?
yeah.
It's 9/11. Still raw.
Yeah. What's the most tragic thing?
Yeah. If he'd been in the World Trade Center to get like checkup results or something, it's like, it turns out your girlfriend's pregnant and you're gonna be a daddy.
And she's pregnant with 9/11.
Right. Question 3. I hope you haven't seen this. Have you seen High Tension?
I have not.
Okay. Good.
Knowingly seen High Tension.
Okay. So in High Tension, Chris, 2 women, Alex and Marie, visit Alex's parents' house. During their stay, someone breaks in and murders the whole family one by one. Eventually, the killer kidnaps the 2 friends in a truck he arrived in.
Okay.
Who is the killer? Is it A, a rogue police officer who is trying to frame Marie so he can become a hero by revealing the crime?
Yeah.
Is it B, they all killed themselves in a mass hysteria? Or is it C, the killer was Marie, who is revealed to be a lesbian in love with Alex and determined to kill everyone who comes between them?
Is it A, the rogue police officer?
I'm afraid it's not. It's the split personality lesbian.
Really?
Yep. Apparently, in the movie, she watches the murders take place from inside a cupboard or
Right.
But the way it's made is it couldn't possibly be her because the killer drives a truck which she didn't arrive in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's in the back of the truck, being driven by herself.
I think so. Or she's driving behind the truck.
Right.
It's
great. It's High Tension. How to Survive High Tension next week.
We spoiled it now.
Yeah.
A final question, Chris. So you're 2 out of 3, which is pretty good.
Pretty good.
The movie's Safe Haven. Have you seen that?
Possibly.
Really?
Is it a Nicholas Sparks film?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know the ending?
I have seen a Nicholas Sparks film.
Okay.
It may have been called Safe Haven.
Right.
Okay.
I'll run it past you.
Yeah.
Kate escapes her abusive husband by stabbing him.
It's not the one that I was thinking of.
Good. She flees to a new town and falls in love with a new man, but she's later pursued there by her husband.
Right.
She fights the husband and his gun discharges, killing him. In the struggle, her new boyfriend's house is burned down. But what happens next? A, the new boyfriend turns out to be the abusive husband's brother, and he's just as abusive. B, the new boyfriend's daughter is jealous of the new relationship and shoots Katie in the head. Or C, the mutual friend who introduced Katie to her new boyfriend is revealed to be an angel and actually his dead wife.
Is it C, the dead wife angel?
Yes, it is.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
In a film otherwise bereft of angels.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's 3 out of
How to
4.
Survive Safe Haven next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy with that?
Yeah, very happy with my performance there.
The problem was, right, I had to pick films that I thought you wouldn't have seen.
Yeah. So you got two films I had seen.
Yeah. It's hard though because it's Usual Suspects. Or
yeah.
The Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Never seen either of those films. Yeah. So it's about that time of the week, Joe. How on earth would you survive Split? And I've got an idea.
Okay.
Early doors. Now, one of the personalities that Kevin takes is Hedwig.
Yes.
Now, Hedwig is a 9-year-old boy,
Mm-hmm.
psychologically, if not physically. Although he does, as it's explained in the film, have the sort of physical traits of a 9-year-old boy in terms of weakness and susceptibility to pain and all those things. So, what I would suggest for the three girls is to just savagely beat Hedwig into unconsciousness.
Yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
And though it seems unpalatable for me, a 25-year-old man, to be suggesting the beating of a 9-year-old...
He's not really a 9-year-old, is he?
No, exactly. And he has the same personalities and fears of a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
He'd be very easy to overpower, especially between the three of them. And yeah, they could just beat him into unconsciousness.
Tie him up.
And hopefully escape before Dennis returns. Dennis being the sort of more tangible human threat throughout the film until the beast arrives. And like you say, you could tie him up because it's shown that Dennis is very strong.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't want him loose, basically, do you?
No, exactly. Tie him up, then torture him until he tells you how to get out.
Yeah, or just, search the rooms. Or just lock him in the room.
Yeah.
But yeah, just savagely beat 9-year-old Hedwig.
Yeah, yeah. I endorse that, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a how to survive top tip is, whenever possible, administer savage beatings to 9-year-old boys. Please.
Or mentally ill grown men who think they're 9-year-olds.
Yes,
yeah.
Preferably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even better. You get how to survive bonus points.
Okay.
Yeah. And then,
start, yeah.
then tie them up, optional torture,
Mm-hmm.
and escape to freedom.
Yeah. Ideally, leave them in there to starve to death.
Yes, ideally.
Yeah.
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 I mean, fair enough. I can't argue with you. Yes.
Yeah. Because it's back. They have an opportunity when they're still sort of quite early on in the in the phase of being kidnapped, and Hedwig's there, unguarded.
Just to play devil's advocate, is it possible that Hedwig could still summon the beast? Could he still arrive?
I don't think he summons the beast, does he? I think he. It appears that because they keep saying that they're summoning him at a certain date, so I think they have to do it
on that day.
Yeah, just if you just beat him until he's unconscious, then surely that would work.
It would, yeah.
So what about yourself? Have you got any ideas on how to survive Split?
I didn't have any ideas, Chris. So I did a few Google searches for some help. And guess what I came across? Guess what website proved helpful?
Oh yeah, it's not WikiHow, who recently was involved in a scandal for photoshopping a photo of Barack Obama, Jay-Z and Beyonce into a diagram in their article How to Become a US Congressman, and turning them all into animated white people. Wasn't that WikiHow, is it?
It was that WikiHow.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
What have they got to say for themselves?
Well,
all their articles just open with the word sorry.
soz.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a bit of a scandal, isn't it? Although I assume it wasn't someone acting in the interest of the organisation.
Yeah, I don't think it's official policy to whitewash all content.
Yeah. Although I'm flicking through this one.
So
there's no black people in it.
Interesting.
Okay, so this is it's taken from the article on WikiHow called "How to Deal with Religious People If You Are an Atheist."
Okay.
Now, you might think, why would you do that? The thing to remember is that the three key personalities, the three authors, Hedwig,
Patricia, and
Dennis. Yeah, all three of them are fanatical about the beast.
Yeah,
and they keep spouting what sounds like, religious mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, they're zealots, basically.
Yeah,
aren't
they are, and they bask in the glory of the light of the beast, all this sort of thing. So I think, step in. You're obviously an atheist. You don't believe in the beast.
No.
Yeah, and neither do any of the characters in the film. So
other than Dennis, Patricia, and Hedwig.
So when dealing with them, they could have gone to WikiHow, found this out. Preventing conflicts. Chris.
Yeah.
Number 1, stay calm and don't get defensive.
Okay.
Now, you may remember, all the characters get quite defensive, don't they?
Yeah. Mostly that's out of fear.
Dr. Fletcher, she tries to stab Dennis, or the Beast, in self-defense, doesn't she?
Yeah, and the knife breaks.
Yeah. So
show it proving that being defensive doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah, exactly.
And so don't be offensive either.
Exactly. Just do nothing.
Just be passive.
Do nothing.
Yeah.
Number 2, don't try to force your point of view on others.
Okay.
Right. Now, Dr. Fletcher is quite good at that because she's like tries to bring him round to her way of thinking. Like, you're a nice guy.
Yeah.
We're all nice guys. But she loses her way, doesn't she? At the end, she says, "You can't do this. It's illegal."
And only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Yeah. She says, "You can't kidnap these girls. It is illegal."
Yeah.
And that's just her point of view.
Yeah.
And she's forcing it on him.
Yeah.
And rightly dies for it.
She's made 2 mistakes so far.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why she's dead. 3, agree to disagree.
Okay.
So when he says, "I'm the Beast now,"
I'm going to eat you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you should say is, "Look, I take your point, but I'm not going to come around to that way of thinking."
I respect your right to hold such an opinion.
But he wouldn't be able to do anything, would he? It's only the people who go, "Oh no, don't do that. Don't think that you're the Beast."
Yeah.
They're the ones who end up dead.
That's true. 100% of the time.
Yep. Number 4, don't argue with someone trying to convert you to their religious beliefs. No.
Okay.
All characters try to argue with him, except for Casey.
Yeah.
Who doesn't need to, because he realises, doesn't he, that she's actually on the same page. In a very roundabout and misguided way.
Yeah.
But she doesn't argue with him.
No. Which nearly saves her. Although that said, she does get quite offensive when she's shooting him in the face with a shotgun towards the end of the film.
But she's not disagreeing. That's more of a self-defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Which we said is,
don't be defensive.
Yeah. So it's risky business.
Yeah.
Point 5, this was really becoming helpful for a lot of them.
Yeah.
Walk away when a calm discussion is not possible.
Okay.
Now it becomes apparent for a lot of them that a calm discussion won't work.
No.
And none of them tried to walk away. They try and climb up the walls or shoot him or stab him, but no one attempts to walk away. They run away, but no walking, and that's where they go wrong, Chris.
Yeah.
So thanks again to WikiHow for solving that problem once and for
all. I'd like to bring up just one point.
Okay.
That isn't really a guide to convincing people that their religion is wrong, is it?
That's what it said.
Yeah, but
are you saying WikiHow is wrong? Are you?
Yeah. So when the Beast is knocking you to the ground in order to eat you, you're going, I respect your opinion. Yeah.
Listen, you have every right to think that.
Yeah.
And I completely agree.
Yeah.
I can see why you think that. I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
And
I fundamentally disagree.
He'd have no choice but to just agree with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one person that we pointed out had a number of errors with regards to that survival tactic was Dr. Fletcher.
Oh, yeah. She was a bit of a chump, wasn't she?
Well, here's what I'd say. Dr. Fletcher has no chill.
No.
Right?
She's crying all the time. Wiping tears from her eyes for the whole movie.
So the bit in question is when she realises, she obviously comes to the realisation that Dennis as Kevin, has kidnapped the girls.
Yeah.
And she goes, I'm going to leave. Actually, can I just
use your toilet?
And then goes to use the toilet, but instead opens a door to one of the girls' cells, gets drugged, eventually ends up dead.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even if you're not facing the Beast, right, because she's not at that point, the Beast hasn't arrived, you're not going to win a fight with Dennis because you're from what I can tell, 150-year-old woman.
Yeah.
So why does she go off to find the girls herself? Because that is fundamentally irresponsible. Given that if she believes so strongly that he's done this, then what she should do is go, I'm delighted for you, Kevin, or whatever it is she says. I'm going to go now. I'll see you whenever you next need an appointment.
Yeah. Tomorrow we can have a little session.
Yeah, whenever. Leave, phone the police. Police arrive, and maybe even arrest Dennis on his way out to go and transform into the Beast.
Preventing the whole debacle.
But instead, she goes and finds one of the girls and goes, "Oh, Dennis, what have you done?"
Yeah.
And then
starts accusing him of
like
breaking the law.
Yeah, because she's a 170-year-old woman.
Yeah.
And, what was she thinking? That is the worst. Like, there's no forethought there whatsoever.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of hubris. I think
arrogant,
like Icarus. She's flown too close to the sun.
Yeah,
she's something of a counselor to.
She's something of a mother figure.
Yeah,
and in a very real way, Joe. She flew too close to the sun. Yeah. So basically, I mean, I guess the Beast could easily kill lots of policemen if if they got there before the Beast got back or whatever. But if there's every chance of the police arriving promptly, if you phoned up the police and went, remember those 3 missing girls that have been on TV constantly? I know where they are, or I have very strong suspicions I know where they are, in the home of a dangerously psychotic patient of mine who lives under a zoo. Maybe you should think about sending some police. The police will be there, fucking get round there now. Yeah. And the girls will be rescued. But because of her hubris, Dr. Fletcher's dead, Marsh is dead, Claire is dead.
Yeah. And rightly so.
Yeah. Well, rightly so for Dr. Fletcher. The other two don't really do a lot wrong.
No. Question though.
Yeah.
And this is more of a general question.
Yeah.
To your knowledge, if you have dissociative personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder.
Yes.
And you are basically in a state where you are unable to remember things that happened because you have so many personalities.
Yeah.
You can't really get through a day. We see at one point that he has 24 toothbrushes.
Yes.
Which means that across the space...
23, Joe. I don't think the Beast is keeping a strict dental hygiene routine.
Still, 23, right?
Yeah.
That means a minimum of 48 minutes per day is given over to teeth cleaning.
Well, is that the case though, or is it there's just the normal toothbrushing time for any person, and whoever's in charge, whoever happens to be in the light, as they put it, at that point is the one who brushes their teeth. Although I have to say, Hedwig, without supervision, he's not going to be brushing his teeth, is he?
No, exactly. Yeah. The point is, for any given period of time, he's not going to know what he's doing, when the next person takes over.
Yeah.
So, is that, as a psychologist, can Fletcher be that's perfectly fine for him to live alone under a zoo?
It's not. It doesn't seem immediately to be the safest environment for him, does it?
Yeah. And I bear in mind that people do live with dissociative identity disorder in real life,
right?
But he is an extreme version,
case of it. Yeah.
If I was a doctor living in the world of M. Night Shyamalan's Split, I probably wouldn't be saying he could live alone.
No.
Unsupervised with a gun.
Yeah.
Under a zoo.
Fair enough. Is that your how to survive
tip?
No,
just a thought.
Just a general thought, yeah.
My final thought, Chris, is it's taken from another website. Because I mentioned I did a bit of Googling. And obviously the conceit behind the 3 baddies is that they dominate the conversation. They hold the floor and take the light, as they say in the film.
Yeah.
So this is from DanielleSchroyer.com.
Okay.
So thanks, Danielle.
Yeah.
10 tips for handling someone who dominates a discussion.
Okay. Of course, we all know someone like that. Joe.
Yeah. Number 1.
Someone who can't help but be the one who dominates and leads the discussion. But please, carry on with your idea.
Number 1.
This is the first part of 10.
Number 1. Set the tone. So, if you're Kevin trying to get back in control of your own mind,
Yeah.
just go, look, none of that beast talk. Come on. We don't want any more of that beast. A lot of people talk about the beast in here, in this room, 24 people in it. I've done all of that. So assert yourself a bit. Number 2, discourage a back and forth exchange.
Okay.
Now, we do see a back and forth exchange happening between at least Dennis and Patricia.
Yeah.
And that's the only one we see. But
Yeah.
it does happen.
Mm.
So Kevin should be going, cut that out, you two. Don't talk to each other.
Yeah. So this is advice for Kevin, the Kevin personality within
Which is, I believe, the true identity.
Yeah.
Number 4, don't feed the negative comments.
Okay.
So if they're saying, I'm going to turn into a beast and kill everyone,
Yeah.
just go, shut up.
Just go, that's an interesting thought, but I don't think that's a very productive way to go about life.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's not very constructive.
yeah. Number 6, respect the introverts.
Okay.
Now, Kevin himself is a bit of an introvert.
Mm. He
So-
lives under a zoo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic introvert.
And the advice from Danielle is, at my church, we have we have people with strong opinions
Yeah.
and extroverted personalities.
Like God.
Create an environment that is respectful of introverts.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 7. And the last point, Chris, is confront the person in private.
Okay.
So, I mean, you have the ultimate privacy
Yeah.
because it happens in your own brain.
Yeah. You can create any sort of private room, private encounter.
Many rooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just take the beast to one side and say, look, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
You're thinking you want to go out there and kill everyone and eat them.
Mm.
And he'll go, yeah. You just, none of that.
Yeah.
None of that, please. And he'll go, fine.
You know when it says that Dennis, as a psychological personality, developed following the abuse from Kevin's mother.
Yeah.
Was he a 30-year-old man at the time?
Yeah.
Or was he like also 4 at the time? Or was it like he, they're all the same age and then they grow apart from Hedwig who stops and then like Jade or whoever stops?
Or is it that he starts with one personality and the first one that comes along is Dennis, so he turns into Dennis sometimes.
Right.
And then when he's like 30, he starts being Hedwig for 9 years. So he starts as a baby.
Yeah. Just like this 30-year-old baby, screaming and crying. I did wonder whether they were going to do that at one point.
Yeah.
Just have like a personality which is just like a mewling baby. That would have been quite funny.
It would. Do you have any more thoughts on how you'd survive?
Yeah, I've got one more. Basically, we like something. We like somebody who sticks to their principles, right? So, basically, the beast, right? He's full of shit, right? He has no idea what he's eating, right?
That's true.
Because he's banging on about only people who have suffered are pure and good and all that, and he'll eat the rest. Basically, that seems to be his MO.
Yeah.
But not everybody has visible scars like Casey.
Sure.
Some people have psychological scars, and he knows someone very well who has psychological scars. That's Kevin.
Yeah.
He should know from experience that not all damaged people are visibly damaged on the outside. Not everyone who's suffered has visibly suffered.
I would say, Chris, that the beast probably isn't acting on a logic basis.
It seems to be acting on a very logical basis, Joe, and I'm glad you've said that, because otherwise why would he spare Casey at the end? He seems to have a set of principles.
Yeah.
But they're very, very diffusely defined.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And I think he needs to have a sit down and really hammer down the things that he cares deeply about. Because otherwise he's going to get himself into all sorts of situations. He goes like, oh, I'm meeting this person. And then, you know, I don't know, like his roommate comes in and goes, oh no, Stephen's dead.
Yeah.
And just after his parents died a week ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And he'll go, oh, fuck, I've eaten someone who's suffered.
Yeah.
And then, like, he'll see someone who, you know, I don't know, like, they're wearing those, like, blind man, like, sunglasses, but they're on their way to a fancy dress party. But he doesn't realise that. So he thinks he's oh, that guy suffered. But that's actually, like, you know, Davy's having a wild time. Yeah. He's had the best life, right? He's got so many mates.
A charmed life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's going to be all over the place, is the beast. He's going to be eating people who have suffered greatly without realising it. He's going to be sparing people who, you know, have a bit of Halloween makeup on. Yeah. It's going to be fucking falling all over the place.
I would say it does seem that it's not actually down to the beast to find these people. It's down to Dennis and Patricia, who staked out the two girls for about 4 days to establish that.
Yeah, well, they didn't do a very good job, did they? Because a 66% success rate.
Yeah, but it was
pretty poor.
That was only because Casey was there by accident, almost.
Right.
Because she was like brought along on a pity invite.
Yeah. So basically, my advice to the beast would be just to stick to your principles, but actually like define them in a much more rigorous manner.
Yeah. So am I right in saying that he wants to eat pure people?
No. He sees people who have suffered as pure and righteous, and those who, as you said, have led charmed lives as, you know, worthless.
But why would you want to eat someone who's worthless?
Kill them.
Why don't you slit their throat?
Don't know. You have to ask him.
Oh my God, he's standing right behind me.
So that was episode 78 of the How to Survive podcast. Next week, as we said, we are covering one of the classics, one of the horror classics.
Been a long time coming.
Yeah.
78 episodes.
Yes. So next week, episode 79 for the film that came out in 1973. It's The Exorcist. So make sure you tune in. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it.
Yeah. Of course, when it first aired, Chris, people were passing out in the cinemas, fainting, being sick.
Yeah.
I wonder if it would have the same effect on us.
We can only hope.
It's the last time we'll feel anything for a while, because a mere 2 weeks later, we're going back to the Friday the 13th saga.
Yeah, look forward to that.
Episode 9.
Yeah. So if you'd like to get in touch, as ever, the email address is howtosurviveshow@gmail.com. Why not write us an email? Suggest a movie. Tell us what you think. If you've got any thoughts on how you'd improve the podcast, then let us know. You can also do that via Twitter. The Twitter handle is @HowToSurvivePod. Be sure, as well, to leave us a review on iTunes or on anything that you catch your pods on. Someone left a review the other day, Chris, named Jay Voorhees. Oh, very good. Yeah. It was a 5-star review, though, so, you know, even though he's found some compassion, finally. Yeah. But 5 stars is language of love. Yeah. So if you liked what you heard, leave us 5 stars. there's no two options. Yeah. So you either do like it or you don't. And if you don't like it, then why are you even listening? Please stay subscribed, though, because we like those sweet downloads. Yep. Take those to the bank manager every week and say, look how many downloads we got. And he says, great. Security. So until next week when we're talking about The Exorcist, Joe, we better shuffle on out of here. Yeah. Let's make like a banana and skin ourselves out of here. And slip away. Is that what you said? Shuffle on out of here, I said. Joe, let's make like a bowling ball and strike a new path into the night. Let's make like a fork in the road and
head off in a new direction.
Go our separate ways.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Logan, come on, Logan. Logan, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, Logan.
Yeah.
Logan, come on, Logan. Logan.
You taking this on the road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My one man,
Professor
Xavier.
Yeah.
Logan, come on, Logan.
Join Joe Sherville as he plays Professor Xavier, admonishing Logan.
Logan.
Oh.
Logan. That's not good enough, Logan. Logan, you've crashed your motorbike again, Logan.
Who's going to pay for that, Logan?
Logan.
We're a charitable organisation.
Logan. You're supposed to be teaching them, Logan. Not killing them. Logan, she's just a girl, Logan.
Put your claws away, Logan. You're scaring the poor girl.
Logan.